Is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour,
supported by Albertsons
and brought to you by
Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. Lucchese, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. Buffalo Wild Wings. And by Omni. Omni Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's Victory Monday!
Now your hosts, Kristi Scales and Brad Sham.
You heard him, it's Victory Monday. Welcome to the Cowboy Hour. It's another Victory Monday. We like Victory Monday so much, we're just going to do it every week. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Victory Monday, we are at Cane Rosso in the Star District. 2 more shows. Joe Trahan, we think 2 more shows here, and then we move down the street, and we'll tell you more about that later. Tonight is all you need to know about. We are at Cane Rosso on what, Kristi?
On Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. Thank you. Victory Monday. You see how hard these guys work. The least you can do is cheer when we say Victory Monday, for crying out loud. Right? We're delighted to have you wherever you're joining us around the Dallas Cowboys radio network, and we especially want to say hello to our listeners on News Talk KEYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM in Corpus Christi and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you are joining us on DallasCowboys.com on the stream, live or otherwise, hi, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Those of you who have come out again to Cane Rosso, thanks for being here. Applaud yourselves. Let's see if they'll do that. Thanks for coming out on Victory Monday. And now say hello to the Cowboys right tackle Terence Steele right here. He's our special guest tonight. Thanks for
Glad
coming.
to be back.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's awesome because all the people in San Antonio listening on 91 San Antonio Sports Star. Here's our San Antonio Sports Star, Cibolo Steele. So nice of them to name the high school after you. I thought that was really nice too.
So how's your life changed since other than being harassed by Zach Martin since you signed your contract?
Yeah, no, I signed a contract. That was huge. Here for 5 more years, and it's life-changing.
I'm sorry, when you said it was huge, you mean it was a big deal to you or it was a huge contract?
Both.
Okay, good. Just checking. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I worked hard for it, and it came into fruition, and I'm just ready to get back to work and take it a week at a time, and the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. So
I remember, and I know we've had this conversation before, probably on this show, but you just kind of arrived on the scene during 2020, right? So COVID, no real training camp, no off-season program.
No, none of that.
And when you got here as an undrafted free agent, if I had said to you, I think you're about 4 years away from a mega contract, what would you have said then?
Oh, man. I don't know. I probably would have believed it. I mean, that was just my mentality coming in. I wanted to be a starter off the rip. So, I knew it would take a lot of hard work. But if you said it, I probably would have believed it.
Well, you might have been the only one who wasn't surprised that you made the team and started right away, right? You mean was that your expectation coming in the door?
Yeah. So I went undrafted. Then after that, I had a chip on my shoulder. I came in, no training camp, no preseason, none of that. And, I came out and balled, and that was my mentality. I wanted to be a starter from day one, and worked at it every day.
Undrafted, why here? Obviously, you're a Texas native, but there's some established veterans along the offensive line here, and at least when you're undrafted, you can choose where you want to go. But why Dallas?
We just figured, me and my agent figured it was the best fit for me. Then you hit it on it. I want to stay in Texas. I obviously went to school in San Antonio College at Texas Tech, and now I get to be here in Dallas, so I can't beat it.
And with the contract, it's something, Brad, you remember when we were talking with Dorrance Armstrong last year, and he had signed a second contract. And I think that NFL fans don't understand how hard it is
Yeah.
for a guy to get a second contract with the same team. Dorrance was so happy to have that. It's hard for guys who are drafted, much less undrafted. Is that something that's talked about within the room among players?
No, it's huge. The fact that the front office and the coaches wanted to keep me and sign me for that second year is huge. And like you said, that doesn't happen often. Most people hit the free market and often go with other teams. But for me to secure this contract before the season started was huge. Very huge.
When did you start thinking about getting a second contract?
Probably this time last year. That was in sights, and worked towards it every week.
And what were you thinking about when you got hurt and had to miss the last chunk of the season?
Yeah, no, I was obviously heartbroken. I didn't want to leave the field. I want to be there for my guys and play that season out. But I just kind of looked at it. I just said it is what it is, and I can't pout about it. I have to work my butt off every day and just get back as quick as I can, and that happened. So
I'm asking you these questions because I know what your answer is,
Yep.
and I'm hoping there's some young people listening within the sound of our voice who will take an example from it. Did you ever say to after you got hurt, did you ever say to your agent anything like, "What's this going to do to our contract chances"?
No, he was really positive. He knew what kind of person I am, and my work ethic and just my mentality of approaching stuff like this. So he just said, keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to pay off, and it did. So.
Yeah, I'd also love for you to talk about that process of the rehabilitation, and a lot of Cowboy fans have heard the name Britt Brown, who's the director of rehabilitation and such an integral part of the Dallas Cowboys athletic training staff. But can you just talk about just kind of the scheduling? I mean, there's no off season anyway in football, but especially someone who is rehabbing and just the early mornings and the treatments. What's it like?
Yeah. So I'll first start off talking about Britt. Britt was huge in my recovery. As soon as it happened and I found out the results, I tore my ACL, MCL, and PFL. Britt kind of put his arm around me and said, if there's anyone that can come back from this, it's going to be you. And that gave me a lot of confidence. So shout out to Britt for that. And like he said, scheduling-wise, Monday through Friday, early mornings, bunch of work trying to get back on the field, just rehab stuff. I was with Britt every day on the bands. It was just an everyday thing. Even when I'm not at the facility, I was outside the facility trying to, take advantage of all my resources. So definitely paid off.
And a lot of people, I'm sorry, Kristi, a lot of people don't understand that when you're in a position like that, you're not sitting in team meetings.
Oh, no,
you're not out watching practice. You're kind of like isolated from your teammates, right?
No, that was a big shock for me. No team meetings. I wasn't in any position meetings. Literally just walk in, put on my Cowboys gear, and then straight to the rehab room. So it was definitely a big shock for me. But it is what it is, and it worked out.
So who among the guys, teammates or people on the staff, were the ones that took extra measures to reach out for you so that you didn't feel kind of isolated?
Yeah, no, all the guys in the locker room were really good. A couple people in specific, MG, he went through something similar. He was there from day one, just telling me it's gonna be all right, you'll get through it. And of course, Dak, he's just the great leader he is. From day one too, he was right there with me. And of course, my O-line brothers, man, they were always checking in on me every day and making sure I was good. And and it is a whole list of other people, man. Just everyone in that locker room, super, super cool, and they showed me a lot of love for sure.
But the thing is that the injury happened so late in the season. It was December 11th against the Texans. And so what was, as you began the rehabilitation process, what was the realistic goal to actually be back on the field in a game?
My goal, or just the goal?
Well, your goal was to be back as soon as possible. We know that, and to be here for the regular season.
Yes.
But what was being discussed as like a realistic time frame? Because you were obviously very accelerated, and not only came back to be here, but to play like you have your whole career.
Yeah, no, I got you. So usually for someone to recover from my injury, it takes about anywhere from 10 to maybe 12 months. There was even talks right when I first got injured that I probably wouldn't be back until like 4 or 6 weeks into the season. So, yeah, that's kind of that timetable. But my mindset was way different. I didn't want to miss any time. I wanted to go out to Cali, go through all practices and training camp. And I don't like missing things. So I wanted to be there from day one.
Okay, I want to talk about the position you play. There's something really interesting about the history of being a right tackle. I think we may have had this conversation before, too. I mean, anyone who has heard you, whether they're seeing you and listening to you for the first time tonight or they've heard you before, you're so pleasant, you're very well-mannered, well-spoken, but right tackles are the edgy ones. And Zach Martin said to me last year after you had been injured that people don't realize what he gives us. He is the guy that gives us the edge.
Yep.
Now, Zach looks a little edgy to me from time to time, but I would say, he said he's the guy who gives us our edge. And I referenced during the game yesterday, Mark Colombo was here.
Yep.
He's about as on the edge as you can get. Mm-hmm. And Eric Williams, when they were winning Super Bowls in the 90s, right up to and maybe through the whistle. He was the nasty guy. Yep. And there's many more. So how is it that you are that guy?
Yeah.
How can you be that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I learned from a young age. I had a coach tell me, right tackles, they're the maulers on the O-line. So I kind of always took that mentality with me and try to apply that every game. You named some greats, obviously. Just really when you step between those lines on the field, man, you just got to have a different mentality. You're not taking any BS from anyone. So that's kind of mentality right there.
What is it about right tackle that makes the right tackle be the mauler?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just something that comes with the position. I'm not exactly sure. I guess it needs to be studied, huh?
Do you think you were that guy at Tech?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I feel like I've always been like that. And like I said, it's that coach, putting that into my mind at an early age that right tackles and maulers and kind of the enforcers on the field. So I try to apply that every day.
And how does that inform the way you approach every play? Is it top of mind, or is it just become part of who you are?
Yeah. No, I think at this point it's just part of who I am. This is part of just how I like to play the game.
Even yesterday, up by 20
Well,
points towards the end of the game, and there was a little tete-a-tete at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets D-line, man, they're also pretty chippy too. So we can't take that from them. So yeah.
Do you look forward to that, to the opportunity to kind of assert yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. There's a fine line though. You can't do too much, or else you probably get a flag thrown on you. But that's just, I don't know. That's just the mentality, man. We're the enforcers, so early on, man, they're gonna know that.
The final page of the game book that the league puts out after every game, it's called Playtime Percentage, and what it does is it has a list of every player who participated in the game and the number of plays. And so Terence, of course, all the plays, most of the offensive linemen, unless there's an injury, they're usually 100% for the offensive snaps. But what really jumps out about this is next to everyone's name along the offensive line, most of them it says 87. That, guys, is a ton of plays because about 60 to 65, maybe
about
63
normal.
is normal for an NFL game. It's tough every single game, but physically today, after basically 25 extra plays, how are you feeling?
I actually feel really good. You said 87 plays. It kind of reminds me of my college days back at Tech. Those are kind of our averages. But, that's definitely a lot for an NFL game. It was a very physical game for sure. But I woke up this morning feeling really good. So I was actually pretty surprised.
How old are you?
25.
Yeah, if you don't feel good at 25 with a contract you signed, then
Brad was complaining about how rough he was feeling today.
We're going
to
have another conversation if you can't feel good today. Thanks for everybody joining us tonight. We are at Connie Rosso in the Star District on the Cowboys Hour with Cowboys tackle Terence Steele, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Cowboys Hour.
And when it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. And Brad, yesterday, my husband Lewis, he wore the Dexter Coakley jersey to Tom Thumb, and we got our 10% off. I'm Brad Sham, along with Kristi Scales. I'm Kristi Scales. He's Brad Sham, and this is Terence Steele, the Cowboys right tackle.
There was a guy who did the Philadelphia Phillies games on the radio. Save that drop, will you please? We're going to
No, don't say that. Erase that, please.
There was a guy who did the Philadelphia Phillies games for like decades. And before I would ever listen to him, but his name was Byram Sham. He was a legendary baseball broadcaster in Philadelphia. And apparently after about 35 or 40 years, he signed on the beginning of a game one night by saying, "Good evening, Byram Sham. This is everybody." I think that's what you just did.
That's next week. I'll save that for next week. Oh, Terence, one thing I'd love for you to talk about, because something that has been near and dear to your heart, involved with the Cowboys and the community. You have helped so much with the Medal of Honor Museum, which is being built in Arlington, just a stone's throw from AT&T Stadium. And, of course, the Cowboys are very involved. Charlotte Jones heading the fundraising for that. But that's, of course, you being a military brat there in San Antonio. Can you just talk about what it means for you to be involved, and just what it means? Military Brad, you know all about teamwork and sacrifice and how that relates to football.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like she said, I was a military brat growing up. My dad was in the Army as a helicopter pilot. Yeah, so I got tons of respect for the military. Any chance I can give back, to the real heroes and the ones that serve this country, man, I'm gonna jump on it as soon as I can. So, yeah, to be able to do that is huge.
And he was injured in combat, and so some of the things that he overcame after the helicopter accident, did you draw lessons and inspiration? Not to compare that with necessarily a football injury with the knee. I'm not trying to equate that, but still, were there some examples that you took?
Tons of life examples. He was told, so he helicopter crashed, lost his left leg above the knee, tons of back surgeries, broke his pelvis, and tons of different places. Doctors told him he'd never be able to walk again. So just seeing his mentality towards the doctor saying that, I mean, he came back and he's better than ever. He's climbing mountains now. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. So just seeing him, his mentality towards that, and just being able to watch it at a young age was huge for me, and just my mentality of how I go about my business today.
What was the top rank he achieved?
He was a CW3, I think, Chief Warrant Officer 3.
What was discipline like in the household?
No, it was huge. Really, anytime I got in trouble.
I'm sorry, by the way, I just have to let you know, I was in the Army, so I'm not asking this all blind, not as stupid as I look. Go ahead. So discipline.
Yeah, no, anytime I got in trouble, I for sure was faced with that. What else?
I mean, how?
Yeah.
I want to hear more about how was discipline? How many siblings?
I got 2 little sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel upon review that you were disciplined differently than they were?
Oh, of course. I'm the guy of the house. I'm an older brother, so I mean, as I should be too. So, I'm not getting into specifics, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not done trying though. Did now was Dad the one who mostly administered the discipline?
Yeah. 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So when he wasn't around, was your mother like, just wait till your father gets home?
Exactly. And I was counting down the hours too, and I was nervous. So.
How big is he physically?
My stepdad, he's 6'3", about 205.
All right, so he was big enough to get your attention.
Oh yeah,
growing up.
Most definitely.
And do you remember a time when you ever thought, I've just heard enough of this. I'm my own man.
I got too much respect for him. I could never do that. He's my guy. I would never be able to do that.
Here's what's great about this. to me.
Yeah.
How does this inform then the football player that you become?
Yeah. I would say discipline is probably the biggest. Really, just coming in, man. There's days I don't feel like coming in and giving my best. But my dad instilled that discipline at an early age. It don't matter what you feel like. That's your job. You got to come in and perform, no matter what. So I would say that kind of took me over the edge for sure.
Now you'll help me with my memory because God knows I need it more and more. The opener last year against Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
3 penalties?
Yep. I actually just watched that game about 2 hours ago. I was on my iPad watching it.
And were they holding penalty? Were they all holding
False
penalty?
starts.
They were all false starts.
Yep.
Okay. And I remember you being really irritated with yourself and a little upset
Yep.
after that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
And was that because you thought getting 3 penalties in one game shows a lack of discipline?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then what did Zach Martin say to you after that game?
He probably said, just keep a level head and just watch it, learn from it, and, you got to play the next game. So, it's really just our neutral mentality is what we've been preaching. So, don't get too high, don't get too low. Learn from your mistakes and, just play the next play.
I remember seeing him engaged in earnest conversation with you in the locker room after the game, and it looked to me like he was not reprimanding you. It looked to me, I didn't hear any of it. It looked to me like he was saying, you know that you can do this, and we all know you can do it.
Yeah.
So shake it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Was that kind of like how it was?
Yeah, that's the person Zach is. He's always going to be reassuring and just be there for you no matter what. So, yeah.
And did you even have 3 more penalties the rest of the year?
No, sir.
That's the point of the story, boys and girls, right there. Hit a
So
bump in the road, just keep on driving.
Exactly.
And I think it's interesting because it seems like the coaches are harder on the players when things are like going really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily trying to keep an even keel on you guys, but I mean they know that you're hard on yourselves, and they don't really need to pile on. I guess when things go poorly.
Yep.
Yeah. So you were watching the game from Tampa last year, heading into Game 3 of this new season. Because of those penalties to remind yourself,
No,
or was there
just-
something that you wanted to see
I just
in
wanted
particular?
just to watch just how I began the season last year. I just wanted to just review it again, and I came across those penalties, and I was kind of thinking the same thing what we just talked about. So.
Did you see a difference from physically how you were last year to right now? Because we were talking about the tremendous rehab that you went through. Do you feel like you're 100% or as close to?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I feel great now. I feel awesome.
So let's talk about the preparation heading into week 3, what it's like for a Cowboys player. Obviously, you're spending Monday evening here with Cowboys fans at Cane Rosso on the Cowboys Hour. But when do you start looking specifically at the Arizona Cardinals defense? And Tuesday is a player's day off, but I know you guys never really take 24 hours off.
So I just got a massage for about 2 hours, and during that massage, I was watching Arizona's last game.
I'm sorry,
versus
2
New York.
hours?
Yeah, I need it. My body needs it.
I don't doubt that.
It was 87 plays, Brad.
Yeah, no, I
87
understand.
plays
All right,
yesterday.
sorry, go ahead.
But as I'm laying there, I was watching their most recent game, Arizona versus Giants. So, I've already peeked at them and looked at them a little bit.
The lessons that you have learned in such a short period of time, are you finding that you've got 2 or 3 young guys in the line now, Awesome Richards and T.J. Bass? How would you evaluate yourself as a teacher? Do you try to pass some of those things along to them, or do you wait to be asked?
No, I definitely pass along wherever I see fit. I kind of learned that from just me being a rookie and just seeing how Zach and Tyron and LC, kind of guided me and helped me out wherever they see fit too. So, I'd say a little bit of both. Wherever I see that can help them, I'll let them know. And if they have any questions, I'm going to be open book to them. So,
I remember some conversation, and I can't remember why, in the off season, they were trying to figure out Connor McGovern had gone to Buffalo, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be the left guard. Is Tyron going to be fine? By the way, watch a little tape. Tyron's fine, okay? Tyron's like awesome, okay? What's the best position for Tyler? And so there was some conversation, probably all media generated. Yeah. Maybe they'll try Steele at left guard. Yeah. You heard some of that?
I did, I saw it.
Yeah, and what'd you think when you heard that?
I didn't really know what to think because I didn't have anyone tell me personally. So if I see it on the internet, I'm just not going to believe it until someone tells me.
Attaboy.
So, I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. I just took it with a grain of salt, to be honest with you.
I mean, could you see yourself playing guard?
I mean, if they needed me there and it's the best fit for the team, I'll definitely be there.
But your home is right tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Terence Steele's our guest on the Cowboys Hour tonight. We are at Cane Rosso in the Star District. Actually, I'm Brad Sham, and she's Kristi Scales, and we'll be right back.
Hour, supported by Albertsons.
The Miller Lite Cowboys Hour is also supported by Luke Casey, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I'm Kristi Scales. He's Brad Sham. Our guest is Cowboys right tackle Terence Steele. And Terence, I want to talk to you about a couple of the names that Brad brought up in the last segment, and that's a couple of the young linemen, Awesome Richards and then T.J. Bass. Yep. And T.J. got quite a bit of work last night because Chuma Edoga had to leave because of injury. And while he played mostly at left guard last night, you got a lot of work next to him in training camp when he was in for Zach Martin during Zach's holdout. So he seems like one of these guys who was edgy, I think is the term you used.
Talking about Bass?
When you were talking about Terrence and
Edgy,
right
yes,
tackles.
yes, I
think
use
he
that
kind of
term,
has some right tackle to him.
a
Is
little bit.
Bass kind of an edgy dude?
Yeah, no, he played. I'm pretty sure he played tackle in college, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did, and he says his arms are just way too short to play in the NFL. Yeah.
No, I love Bass. He came in, him and Awesome, both really good rookies. Came in eager to learn, soaked up all the information they needed to, and when when the number was called, they stepped in and didn't blink. Both those guys, definitely played their butt off.
Yeah, and Awesome having to, both at tackle and guard. I know versatility is the big thing that's preached along the O-line here.
Nah, those two guys, man, I can't be prouder of the way they approached just stepping up and not blinking. So
I love the question, and I'm going to pursue some more of it because fans never really get to know very much about offensive linemen in general. It's why I love having you on this program. They get a chance to see and hear your personality. And then guys like Bass and Richards, no fan's ever going to hear from them, probably. And they're very different guys. So Bass is, if you saw Bass out of uniform, walking down the street, what would you think? Surfer dude?
Yeah, I can see it. Surfer dude,
long,
or like a
stringy
lumberjack
blonde hair, or
something.
lumberjack, yeah. And so, what's his disposition on the field?
What do you mean?
I mean, does he play?
Oh,
he doesn't play laid back.
He's a very physical guy. He's a physical. I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
And then Awesome Richards, who was what round, Kristi, did they draft him in?
Fifth
The fifth round?
out of North Carolina, where he played tackle.
What a pleasant young man.
Oh,
You meet him, and he's just so nice. And here again, you've got to have a certain aggressiveness to you to play in the offensive line. What's your estimation of Awesome?
Yeah, no, I think both those guys, whenever they step on the field, man, they whatever their alter ego is, they snap into it. So both guys off the field are nice as can be, great teammates. Won't find any issues with them. They're never late to anything. Always on time. Always gonna do the right thing. So.
And while we're on the subject, Chuma Edoga. Cowboys talked about signing him last year when they were looking for a tackle, and he got hurt, played through a couple injuries in Tampa, wound up with Atlanta for like a game. So he jumped in when Tyler wasn't ready.
Yep.
And again, look at the tape. He's playing like a starter.
Oh yeah. Well, Chuma, he's had a lot of starts around his league. He's definitely a vet, and he's done great adapting to the system and learning all the new terminology, and he's a baller, so he's going to go out there and do what he does.
So he can obviously learn a lot from someone like you, Zach, Tyron, all the guys who've Beatish, all the guys who've been in the system. But when a veteran comes in like that, who understands that he has to play multiple positions to stay in the league, and then does it really well, what do you learn from him?
Yeah, just kind of how he approaches things, just his mentality when it comes to learning a new offense, and just the way he practices. Really, I noticed all that, and and he's got different techniques he's learned from other places, and I try to ask him about that, and just how he's had success with that and stuff. So I love Chuma. He's an awesome guy, and he's definitely stepped up in a huge way for us.
There's something that Brad and I wanted to ask you about that happened at the end of the game last night, the 30-10 win over the Jets. And, of course, you get to kneel down those final plays and the Landry shift. So we get to see that. We love that because it means the Cowboys are nursing a big lead. But Zach Martin had left earlier in the fourth quarter after Tony Pollard ran up on his left leg and Zach missed a series. And yet Zach reinserted himself into the lineup so that he could be out there in the huddle as you guys are bleeding out the final minute or so on the clock. And so Brad and I were wondering if it's just that much fun in the huddle that a veteran like Zach wants to be in there, and what exactly PG-13 version you guys are saying.
I think this is really the point.
You guys are saying in there.
We
want to know what's going on.
I think things happen in that victory formation Landry shift huddle that really need to stay in the huddle.
Yeah.
But how can you explain to people what's so much fun about it?
Yeah, it's just a special moment. Only guys in that huddle kind of know what it means. I can't get into any specifics, but it's just a really special moment for every guy in there.
Has a quarterback ever heard to say anything in those huddles?
Everyone's talking in there.
Everybody's got something to say.
Thank you for helping us keep our FCC license. That's good. One thing that's interesting, though, it's called the Landry shift, and that's when the linemen rise up and go back down. And, of course, that's something that for years Tom Landry's offensive lineman did. Yep. And Bill Callahan, when he was the Cowboys offensive line coach and later coordinator, brought it back to the Cowboys several years ago. But I think it's really appropriate to do it now because your new position coach, Mike Solari, was actually on Tom Landry's staff for 2 years in the late 1980s. And so what is it like working with Coach Solari? And is it kind of I don't want to call him old, but is it kind of an old school kind of mentality, or is it different from what you had with Joe Philbin, who was your position coach last year?
No, I mean I love Coach. I'm pretty sure he started his career here in Dallas. He's been all over the league, and he's a very knowledgeable guy. Taught me a lot of new things, a lot of new techniques. It's been huge. He's been really good. Not really old school. In a bad way, I guess. I really don't know how to explain
Excuse me, young man, there's no bad way to be old school. Let me just let you know about that right now.
I got you.
Sorry, go ahead.
But Solari, he's been huge. Great for the room. All the guys love him. I can't say anything about it.
Okay, and then you have a new assistant offensive line coach, Ramon Chin-Young, and it's a great story because 3 years ago he was coaching Texas high school football. Let's just say he's excitable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a great energy.
Oh, yeah.
He, at the coaches clinic that he did here for local high school and junior high coaches,
I can only
it was
imagine.
preaching. I mean, we were all saying amen by the time he was halfway through his talk. But is that kind of a yin and yang kind of thing with Solari and Chin-Young, or just is it kind of fun to see kind of a new guy making his way in the league and bringing energy?
I would say so. They're both coaches are very high energy. Chin probably a little more just because he's Chin. He's definitely brings a different edge into the room. Just very high energy, keeps us going, and he's just good for the room.
One of my fondest possessions is a little keychain that Hudson Houck gave me. You ever heard of Hudson Houck? Mm-hmm. Hudson Houck, one of the greatest offensive line coaches in the history of the game. Mm-hmm. He coached Jackie Slater. Okay. He was at SC for a long time. He was here for a couple of stints. He actually delayed his retirement so he could coach Larry Allen.
Oh, okay.
And he had a philosophy that offensive linemen were supposed to be, I'm going to have to edit this, so bear with me. Offensive linemen were supposed to be like mushrooms, that they stayed in a dark corner and grew in fertilizer.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And he gave me, I just had such an affinity for offensive linemen. He said, you should be one of us. So he gave me a mushroom keychain one day. Now, there's none of you, Tyron's not the gabbiest guy unless you really know him, but there's none of you that really shies away from talking to the media. Mm. Has anybody advised you as a group? I mean, what's the approach? Because you all seem very open and accessible.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's just the culture that, Zach and Tyron have set, and we just follow it. So we haven't really talked about it or nothing. It's just that's just how it is, I guess. I don't know.
So the example thing is great. So when Colombo played here, Colombo, I just absolutely love Mark Colombo. Let me make that very clear. Colombo believed that offensive linemen should never be seen talking to anyone in the media. Only bad things could happen. Yeah. And so he became the enforcer of a kangaroo court.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys would get fined if Colombo walked by and saw them. And I was talking to some offensive lineman one day, and he stuck his head in the locker room, and he looked at the guy, he looked at me. I said, I'll pay his fine. Go away. Yeah. But that's a completely different and he was that guy. Have you met him? Do you know Colombo?
I haven't met him. I've heard some stories, though.
Yeah. Who's told you stories?
Zach and Tyron.
Zach and Tyron? Yeah, and so, but there's nothing like that. Did you know Travis Frederick?
I didn't know him, no, sir.
Because Travis completely changed all that.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Frederick was the most open, accessible, engaging conversationalist who had the art of talking to you for 5 minutes, making you feel like you were the most important person in the world, and when you walked away, you realized he had not said a damn thing.
Yeah.
And he was so good at it as a rookie. I said, who taught you that? Because nobody can do that. But I guess that culture passed down. How do you personally handle the media? I mean, I see how you handle it, but the media can be a distraction.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
Really just practice. And I don't think I'm the best at it. But I try to get myself out of my comfort zone and try new things. So really just practice at the end of the day, and just doing it over and over and over again until you get comfortable enough.
Speaking of out of your comfort zone, what's the genesis of the hairstyle?
Just I let it grow. I'll probably do something with it. It's getting a little too long now. I don't know if I'll braid it or just chop it off. But it's something a little different this year.
Has it ever been like that?
No,
before?
it's my first time. I didn't even know it can get curly until like 2 years ago.
Very becoming, I would say.
Yeah.
All right, if you are here with us at Cane Rosso in the Star District and you have questions for Terence, hold your hand up. Joe Trahan's got the microphone. He'll mix among you, and it'll be your turn. Delighted to have all of you here, and especially happy to have Cowboys tackle Terence Steele with us, and we'll be right back.
Go Cowboys! To the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
The Miller Lite Cowboys Hour is also supported by Papa John's. It's big, it's good, and it's only for Cowboys fans. The Cowboys Special from the Cowboys and Papa John's. A large one-topping pizza for only $9.99. Order today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys.
And it's Victory Monday. Victory Monday. Thank you very much for being with us at Cane Rosso in the Star District. Brad Sham, Kristi Scales, our special guest, Cowboys tackle Terence Steele. Is there something different to you about this team?
Yeah, just our camaraderie in the locker room is a very special place. No, we're all brothers. Each position group, man, we all take care of each other. I think that bond we have together translates to the field.
Didn't guys say that last year?
Yeah, it's grown even more. Last year was special too, but this year it's just different. We really got to gel and really just just learn each other and just do stuff outside of the facility, and it's been a cool process so far.
And that cohesion in the offensive line, can you talk about that? How you have grown together as a group, even with some occasional changes here and there?
Yeah, no, man. O-line group's an awesome group, man. We do everything together. We eat together. We do the tubs together. Literally everything, even outside of the facility, man. We try to get together as much as possible, and I think that translates huge just for our position. We got 5 players on the field at once. We all need to be in sync. So, just having that relationship with all of us has been helpful.
Joe, let's see who we've got.
Hey, Terrence, my name is Corey. Just to piggyback off Brad's question about the cohesion, just mainly like with you and Zach Martin, it just seems like y'all just have that rapport together, especially when y'all double team, D linemen together, and then, getting off to the second level to help the running backs, good, clear paths. Can you talk about that? Like, how did it develop with you two?
Yeah. Pretty early on, man, we were getting good fits in the run game, just in practice and stuff. It really just communication between us two, what we liked and what we didn't, and then just finding middle ground and through reps, really. So it's a lot of reps and just communication back and forth.
Is it unspoken now? Can you look at each other and know what you're communicating?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we don't really need calls, but we still communicate anyways in case we got a tight end beside us and didn't even know where we're going. But it's just. We know what each other are thinking. It's kind of like we're one mind almost, so it's pretty cool.
The old married couple of the team.
Much, yeah.
Another question.
Hi, Terrence.
How you doing?
I'm wondering, do you ever think, what do my old high school coaches think of me now that I'm a superstar?
Yeah, they reach out a lot. They're always texting me congrats after a game or whatever. I have a lot of respect for those guys, so. Anytime I can go back and give back to them, I can. They've been huge.
How often does your family get to come up from San Antonio? And you mentioned you have 2 younger sisters. Do they get to see you play in person a lot?
Yeah, they were actually here yesterday. They left this morning, but pretty much all the home games they come to, and this year we'll try and get them to some away games. So, they're awesome, man. They're my biggest fans. I love seeing them at games, and I like making them proud. So.
Awesome. Another question?
Yes, sir. I got a question for you. My name's Bill. By any chance, is this your brother right behind you in the window?
Oh, God.
There's a young man with curly hair that's sitting here on the patio.
That's a mirror image, bro.
I think you reached for that one, Bill, just a little. I think. Hope you didn't strain your shoulder. I think that one might have popped it out. Joe is walking with a purpose. We're good.
Well, I did want to follow up because we were talking about you and Zach Martin and the combo block. When the two of you on the right side, what is the key to the perfect combo block, you and Zach?
Yeah, just knowing where the ball's going, knowing who we're going to, what back we're going to, and really just the initial quickness off the ball really helps out a lot, and and it's really getting a good fit so the D tackle can't split us is also a main part. So all those combined, man, really account for a good block.
I hear guys talk a lot about being 1-0. So you're 2-0.
Yep.
And now your next objective is to be 1-0 on Sunday. Where'd that come from?
I've personally been hearing that for a while, even back in college. You know, each week you want to go 1-0. Just focus on this week, the game you have ahead of you. Don't get too far ahead. So, just winning. It's all about Arizona this week. We have an end goal in mind, of course, but we got to take it 1 week at a time.
Do you know who you play after Arizona? There's no penalty for not knowing.
I don't know. No, I looked at this guys. I just forgot, honestly.
No, people really think that it's just a bunch of coach speak or just a bunch of trite phrases, but really players.
You got to take it 1 week at a time, for sure.
Well, you mentioned earlier that while you were getting your massage this afternoon, you were getting a little sneak peek at Arizona's defense. Yep. What did you see?
Yeah, no, they got some good players. They fly around. It's gonna be a good matchup for us, but I think we'll be all right for sure.
Will you play anybody all year as demanding as what you get in practice?
Yeah, no, we got some dogs on defense. You're probably referring to Micah and D-Law.
I'm talking about the whole bunch of them.
Yeah, no, everyone. Osa, Neville. I can go on for days, but no, just going against that defense every day is honestly a blessing. We've been saying it all camp. Iron sharpens iron. We've had some great battles during practice for sure. So,
do you watch when you're on the bench? I mean, you got to catch your breath. You're getting coached up a little bit. Do you ever sneak a peek and see how they're doing?
Oh, me and Zach, man, we're back there laughing. Like, good luck to these guys because they don't know what's coming for them. So, yeah, no, we're always watching. I love watching our defense. You know, they play ball the right way. They're flying around. They're getting after it. So, yeah, they're very fun to watch.
Well,
sure.
Coach McCarthy was joking around today in the walk-off after the press conference, but Oso Digizua, who's having such a fantastic season, the Cowboys defensive tackle, he was named the defensive captain for this past game. And Coach McCarthy said that once he announced that Osa was the captain, that Mike's speech was over because Osa kind of took it over. What's it like on that? Is it Saturday night that they usually name the captains, or when they do it on Saturday? Thursdays.
So last year was Saturday.
Okay. So what's it like on a Thursday, or if your name's announced, or some of the different guys? I'm sure there's different personalities.
Yeah. So they do offense, defense, special team captains. They announced we're in team meeting on the big screen, and we just clap and congratulate the guys because they obviously earned it, and we're proud for them for sure.
Do the offensive game captains get anything special? Because I know that for the special teams captains, the special teams coordinator, John Fossil, gives up his parking spot to the captain for the week. So Wanye Thomas gets it for this week. Do you guys get anything for being offensive captain?
No, we don't get nothing.
Oh,
we get
man. Oh, that's
just
sorry.
That's a bonus thing.
That's sorry.
He's creative in that way, and that's honestly a very big perk.
Sure.
Just having that parking spot up front, you don't got to worry about finding a parking spot later or anything. You got your own spot. So, no, that's huge. For sure.
Like you guys have to worry about finding a place to park. Hey, thanks for being with Victory Monday with Terence Steele, everybody. Really appreciate you being here, T. Thank you very much. Good luck being 1-0 in Arizona.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back next Monday night for another Victory Monday at Cane Rosso in the Star District. For Kristi Scales, I'm Brad Sham. Thank you all for being with us on the Cowboys Hour.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!